Will the Tokidos actually get played with, or will it join a dusty pile? If you've ever spent good money on a toy that promises to be educational and engaging only to watch a child lose interest after a couple days, you know exactly what I mean. When I first got my hands on Tokidos, I was curious, could this screen-free interactive toy actually hold my kids' attention long term? Now that we've had some real time with it, I'm ready to share everything, the good, the not so good, and whether Tokidos is actually worth adding to your toy shelf. Let's get into it. I want to be upfront, this video is not sponsored. I personally pre-ordered the Tokidos with my own money, and I also bought a few extra cards to really put it to the test. Nothing was gifted, nothing was sent for review. Everything you'll hear today is based on my honest experience as someone who spent their own hard-earned money. First, let's talk about the cost. Tokidos offers two bundle options depending on the child's age. The Early Learners bundle for ages 3 to 5 and the School Ready bundle for ages 5 to 8. Both bundles are currently 20% off for a limited time, bringing the price down to $159.99. Each bundle includes the play cubes and 3 play cards to get you started, with the play cards tailored to match the age range you choose. If you want to expand your library of games, individual play cards are $14.99 each, though new releases also get a 20% discount. There's also a subscribe and save program that starts with a starter bundle that delivers 2 play cards every 2 months. The first year costs $239.99, and after that it renews at $99.99 per year, with 12 new cards spread through the year. You can also choose to add the subscription later if you want to wait and see how your child engages with the toy. So as you can see, Tokidos isn't exactly a budget toy, but it's designed to grow with your child and keep things fresh with new games over time. Alright, so now that you know what Tokidos cost, let's talk about what it was actually like getting this thing set up, because honestly, it wasn't exactly smooth sailing. I've set up a lot of different toys over the years, from Yodel Player to Tony Box to the Next Playground, and I'm even in the process of using a Raspberry Pi to build my own screen-free audio player from scratch, so I'm no stranger tinkering with tech. But I'd probably rank the Tokidos as the most difficult setup I've dealt with, mainly because you're not setting up just one device, but you're setting up 5 individual cubes. Each one of these cubes has to be synced to the main cube, and even if one of them fails to connect properly, the whole system won't work. That's actually what happened to me during setup. One of the cubes froze and everything just hung there. Turning one of these things on is fairly easy. You simply press down on the button here and you hold it down. However, the issue becomes is that there's no way to turn it off. No matter how long I hold this, it's not going to turn off. There's no off button on this cube. However, eventually I figured out that there's this little reset button down here that I was able to poke, and I was able to just reset the cube, and I was able to continue on with the setup. The setup app didn't give any guidance when that happened. I would have at least expected the app to tell me what to do if something was frozen, tell me, hey, if it's still freezing, go ahead and hit the reset button. Honestly though, the app itself is pretty pointless, as it's only used for setting this thing up, and I haven't had any real reason to open it since. Maybe for a firmware update down the line, but that's about it. On top of that, every time you insert one of these cards, let me see if I can find the main one, here you actually have to download them. And not only do you download it to one of these cubes, you download it to all 5 of the cubes. And it's not quick. I was sitting there watching the progress bars, and it definitely took longer than I expected. Weirdly, the very first game my son inserted seemed to have to need to download twice. Not sure why that was, but every other card we've tried has only needed to download once, so that might have just been a fluke. So my tips for parents, especially if you're getting this as a gift, is to set it up well ahead of time. You don't want to be stuck trying to get everything synced and downloaded while your kid is sitting there impatiently waiting to play. That said, once everything was finally set up and downloaded, it's been smooth sailing. We haven't had any connection issues since then, and the cubes have worked as expected. But getting to that point, definitely a bit of a headache. I went with the Early Learners bundle because I was hoping it might be something my 3-year-old could grow into, while my 5-year-old could start playing with it right away. But so far, it's really only been my 5-year-old son who's shown interest in it. My 3-year-old hasn't quite jumped into it yet. Honestly, I think she's still a bit too young for it. The games require some focus and listening to instructions, and that's just not where she is at right now. Now for my 5-year-old, it's a bit of a mix. Some of the games from the Early Learner set feels a bit too simple, especially because he's on the older end of that age 3 to 5 range. Animal Sounds is very basic. It's just fun for a bit, at least for him at this age range. It's just really identifying different animal noises. And Alphabet Smash, while playful, felt too easy for him, especially since he's already started to read. The one game from the bundle that actually clicked was Math Alchemist. It's more of a logic and problem solving game, and I've noticed that numbers seem to be getting harder as he plays, though there's no way to manually adjust difficulty on these games. Because I wanted to get a better sense of the variety Tokidos offers, I ended up purchasing 3 additional play cards. We got the Electro Puzzle, the Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, and then Cook Math with Peter Rabbit. Electro Puzzle is about spatial reasoning and pattern recognition. Took a bit for my son to understand, but once he did, it was fairly easy for him. Cook Math with Peter Rabbit has been fun, playful way for him to work with numbers and a natural step up from Math Alchemist. Goldilocks is more of a story-based sequencing game with more interactive storytelling. One thing I like to see added in the future is some kind of difficulty setting for the games. Not sure if it's even possible, but it would be nice to have. There's no way to adjust the challenge level right now, so once a game starts feeling too easy, there's not much you can do to extend its life. That's where I think the app could actually become useful. Right now the app is pretty much just for setup, but it would be great if they updated it to let you tweak the difficulty for certain games or even track your child's progress. That way the games could grow with your child instead of them outgrowing the easier ones too quickly, like I talked about Animal Sounds and Alphabet Smash. At first, Tokidos felt like a hit, but the real question is, did the excitement last? Whenever we introduce a new play card, my son gets really excited. He'll sit down and play for a good 10 to 20 minutes, which is a solid session for his age. He's engaged, having fun, and it's great to see him working through the puzzles and activities. But once that initial excitement dies down, it's been a bit of a different story. He might pick it up again the next day or maybe the day after, but beyond that, he's not really reaching for it on his own. Unless I'm specifically asking him something like, hey, do you want to play with the Tokidos? He's not thinking about it. It's not one of those toys he naturally gravitates towards, the way he might say his building toy sets like Lego, or maybe even his Yodel player when he wants to listen to music or stories. I don't think he dislikes it. He seems to enjoy it whenever he's playing with it. But it's one of those toys where he's like, oh yeah, that's fun whenever I remind him, rather than something he independently chooses as part of his everyday play. So that's something to keep in mind if you're considering Tokidos as a big main gift. For us, it's more of an occasional toy. Something that gets bursts of excitement when there's a new game, but hasn't really become a daily go-to or even weekly. And honestly, that's what made me start thinking more about the value. Because when you're spending over $150, you want to know it's really going to become part of their daily regular routine. For me, Tokidos has been a bit of a mixed bag. There's a lot I really like about it. The quality of the cubes is great, the games are creative, and the screen-free interactive concept is something I've always on the lookout for. When my son is playing, he's engaged, and it's clear there's a lot of thought put into the way these games encourage problem solving and learning. The setup process wasn't exactly smooth, and while initial excitement is there when we get a new play card, it hasn't turned into a toy he's reaching for daily. For the price, especially when you factor in buying additional cards or considering the subscription, it's something I personally hoped would get more consistent playtime. So would I recommend it? I think it depends on your child. If you have a kid who really enjoys logic games, puzzles, or enjoys interactive cause and effect type of play, Tokidos could be a great fit, especially if you're planning to slowly add more cards over time to keep it fresh. But if you're looking for that one big toy that's going to become their everyday go-to, this might not be it. At least that hasn't been for our experience. For us, it's been a fun occasional toy that my son enjoys when I remind him, but it hasn't fully justified the price as an everyday staple. That's where we've landed at right now, but I'll be keeping an eye out to see how it fits into our routine, and maybe my daughter will eventually be more drawn to it. If you've tried Tokidos, let me know down below to comment. Has it been a hit in your house, or sometime toys like ours? If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, so here are some actual gameplay of the cubes. I'm going to have the sound on and everything, but I'll be the one playing with it just because it's easier for me to record this way. And I do apologize about the blown image because the camera can't really catch the LEDs on these cubes very well.
Now find the word starting with, shake the cubes to hear the word. Nurse. Muffin. Jungle. Executive. Give it another try. Amazing. Connect the two cubes whose words start with this sound. Shake the other cubes and find another word that starts with the same sound. Kitchen. Enjoy. Nature. Nurse. Nature.
Good job.
Nurse. Discover animal sounds. Let's find out which animal makes which sound. What sound does a wolf make? Shake the cubes to find out. That's correct. Good job. Hi, how can I help you?
It's a mermaid and she looks worried. She points to her throat and then tries to talk.
Did you lose your voice? Don't worry, I have just the potion for that. First, let's use 3 white peacock feathers.
Which cubes can you connect to make the number? Press on the cubes to hear their numbers. 1, 2. Nice, you found 3 white peacock feathers. Now shake the cubes with the correct number of ingredients over the mouth cube. That's our cauldron. That's it, you've done it.
Welcome to Electro Puzzle. Each cube has a piece of the puzzle on it. Complete the puzzle by connecting the cubes together in the right order. That looks so good. Well done.
Fantastico! That's it! You're ready! Now press here to add the tomatoes to the recipe. Well done! You'll be a head chef in no time! Just in, we have a ramen order. We need 10 cups of noodles.
Goldilocks and the 3 bears. Once upon a time, there lived a family of bears in a house deep in the woods. This loving trio consisted of Papa Bear, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. One day, the family decided to go for a walk in the woods. Baby Bear, did you get dressed yet? It's time to go outside.
Coming, Mama Bear.
Baby Bear has to get dressed to go on a walk with his parents. Can you help him? Place the clothes in the right order. Shoes, pants, jacket and hat. And connect them together from top to bottom.
Thank you. I'm ready to go now.